All right, let's get straight into it. Picture this. A shiny, multi-billion-dollar fighter jet, the pride of a nation rolling onto the tarmac, ready to dominate the skies. And what's protecting it? Not advanced radar or cutting-edge tech, but lemons and coconuts. Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're tearing into the absurd superstitions that grip Indian society. From their defence minister smashing coconuts to secure jets, to hanging chilies to ward off evil spirits. We'll unpack the 2019 Rafale jet fiasco, Pakistan's recent jamming of these so-called invincible planes, and why India's obsession with vegetables might be its only defence strategy left. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild, sarcastic ride through a nation that's spending billions on jets but banking on lemons for safety. I'm Harrison Blackwell, and you're watching Info Safari. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. Also, explore the Hindi version of Info Safari. Find the link in the description. Before we move on, a massive shout-out to Syed Ekram, Carlisle Collins and Jubair Ahmad for their incredible support via Super Thanks. Your generosity truly means the world. Now, let's get to the mess that is India's defence strategy, or lack thereof. Let's start with 2019, when India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh decided to welcome the first batch of Rafale jets with a full-on superstitious spectacle. The guy was out there breaking coconuts, tying threads, and placing lemons under the tyres of these $9 billion war machines. Yes, lemons. The same ones you'd squeeze into your lemonade were apparently India's first line of defence against enemy threats. This wasn't some village ritual. This was a nationally televised event, with the world watching India's top brass put their faith in fruit over firepower. The irony? These Rafale jets, bought from France in a 2016 deal for 36 aircraft at a jaw-dropping $8.7 billion, were supposed to make India's Air Force untouchable. Indians were dancing in the streets, thinking they'd secured air superiority, but instead of trusting the jet's advanced weaponry or radar, they leaned on coconuts to keep the evil eye away. If only Pakistan's Air Force could be defeated by a well-aimed lemon. Fast forward to this current week, and those same Rafale jets, India's pride and joy, were humiliated. According to reports, Pakistan's Air Force detected 4 Rafale jets patrolling near the line of control and jammed their communication systems. The result? India's lemon-powered jets turned tail and fled. These weren't cheap toys. Each Rafale costs around $200 million. Yet Pakistan, with its comparatively modest JF-17 jets, made them look like overpriced paper planes. Posts on social media were buzzing with mockery, with users pointing out how India's $9 billion investment was outmaneuvered by Pakistan's air dominance. And what's more ironic is that India has signed a deal for 26 more Rafale marine jets for $7.5 billion recently, because clearly the solution to failed jets is to buy more of them. Maybe they're hoping a bigger pile of lemons will do the trick this time. Now, let's talk about why these Rafales are such a bad bet. France, the jets maker, has flat out refused to share the source code for the Rafale systems. Without that code, India can't tweak, upgrade or maintain the jets independently. They're stuck begging France for every spare part, software update or repair. A 2025 report from the Economic Times noted that the new Rafale Marine deal includes a transfer of technology clause, but it's vague, mostly about assembling fuselages locally, not accessing critical software. This means India's Air Force will remain France's puppet, tethered to foreign tech while dreaming of self-reliance. Imagine buying a $200 million car, but needing to call the manufacturer every time you want to change the oil. That's India's Rafale strategy, expensive, dependent and utterly hopeless. But the obsession with superstitions doesn't stop at jets. India's love affair with lemons and chilies spills into everyday life, especially with cars. Buy a new vehicle in India and you'll see people smashing coconuts in front of it or hanging a string of lemons and chilies on the bumper. The belief? It wards off bad luck and jealous spirits. A 2019 BBC article described this as a widespread practice, rooted in the idea that the evil eye can curse your shiny new ride. Forget insurance policies or airbags. Indians trust their veggies to keep them safe on the road. It's almost comical. A nation that spends billions on defence tech but thinks a few cents string of chilies can stop a crash. If lemons are so powerful, why not replace airbags with citrus? Or better yet, hand out chilies to soldiers instead of grenades. It'd be cheaper and probably just as effective as those Rafales. This brings us to the bigger picture. India's obsession with quick fixes and magical thinking. Take their leadership. The country's run by a former tea seller who sold the public on dreams of superpower status while leaning on rituals and rhetoric. A 2025 Financial Express report boasted about India's decisive edge with Rafales, but the reality is a military plagued by outdated equipment and strategic blunders. The Indian Air Force is down to 31 squadrons against a needed 42, per an Indian Express report, and 67% of its weapons are vintage. Yet instead of fixing these gaps, India splurges on jets that can't even handle Pakistan's jamming tech. It's like buying a Ferrari to drive on a dirt road, flashy but useless. And let's not forget the cost. The Rafale deal's price tag could have funded healthcare for millions or modernized India's crumbling infrastructure. Some analysts have already slammed the government for paying triple the original cost per jet, prioritizing crony deals over national security. Each Rafale's price could equip entire regiments, but India's too busy chasing prestige. Meanwhile, Pakistan's JF-17, developed with China for a fraction of the cost, are holding their own. The math doesn't add up, and neither does the logic. So, where does this leave India? In a hopeless spiral of wasted money and blind faith. The Rafale jets, once hailed as game-changers, are now symbols of failure, outsmarted by Pakistan and overpowered by superstition. The 2025 deal for more jets just doubles down on the mistake, locking India into decades of dependency on France. And the lemon and chili obsession? It's a perfect metaphor for a nation that prioritizes rituals over results. Imagine a soldier at the border clutching a lemon instead of a rifle, hoping the evil eye doesn't strike. That's the state of India's defence mindset, stuck in the Stone Age, dreaming of supremacy. Let's wrap this up with a simple truth. India's pouring billions into a military that's outmaneuvered by its neighbour and protected by produce. The Rafale saga, from coconut smashing to communication jamming, is a masterclass in futility. And the everyday reliance on lemons and chilies just shows how deep this delusion runs. If India thinks it can secure its future with vegetables and overpriced jets, it's in for a rude awakening. Pakistan's already proved they can jam those Rafales, and no amount of citrus is going to change that. Thanks for watching Info Safari. If you enjoyed this takedown, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and drop a comment about what other geopolitical messes you want me to cover. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next video. Until then, stay sharp and let's keep exposing the chaos.